The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico de Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning. I am Paige Clarke, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. And this is where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, and wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms, and I'm Nico de Haan.
Well, good morning, Nico. It's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater, 51 degrees. Looks like it's going to be cool and clear. Please subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. News you can use twice a month in your inbox for $10 a month.
That's right, and we have a special going on right now with the Primal Edge, $25 off till the end of the month, so it's getting real close, folks, so you better start picking this thing up.
Stock up a little bit or share it with someone you love.
Yeah, if you're receiving it now, you can always call in for that one extra bottle that you can turn somebody else on, or maybe save it for when you're not feeling quite well. We're getting the flu season in right now, full blown, so this is a good time to take a little bit extra care of yourself, and that begins with the Primal Edge for sure.
Sorry, I'm having a little mic problem. I hope it's okay. Yeah, so we're taking your phone calls at 877-927-6648. Nico, you know, you and I are always talking about living a primal lifestyle.
Yep.
And really it's about doing the right things and making the right choices. And today, many of the things that interfere with us living a primal lifestyle are beyond our control, or else requires us to make extraordinary changes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And so the health of our environment really affects our health. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I want to ask the question is, do cell towers belong on school properties, folks? Some experts weighed in at a Hempfield school, I believe this is in the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area, as the residents were, quote-unquote, extremely disappointed as the school board permits Verizon to build cell towers behind elementary school. Folks, the word should not be extremely disappointed. As Jack Cruz said in our forum, it should be outrage. Okay. There's absolutely no reason for us to be putting these microwave towers in and around our children. And
well, you know, it's not just the children. I mean, we see these things in neighborhoods. We see them next to places that we frequent. They may be next to a shopping mall. That's close enough for me. And many things, of course, the power grid we know has a lot of electricity going through it. And I think it's pretty well established nowadays that if you're next to these big power grids where the central locations where they're sending this stuff out, that the people in those areas are not as healthy as the people are in the pristine forest, let's say, or even
sure, it's just absolutely no doubt. All of these insults are interfering with the delicate electrical system, which is the human body. We are the body electric. Mm-hmm. So let's just kind of share this, because, you know, the other day I was driving, and I've become so much more aware as I drive of the places they are finding to stick cell towers or amplifiers of that kind. You can see the buildings that I always think, oh, that building owner is a greedy guy. He wants to make sure he gets all that money for
well,
the
remember, in our
cellular
society, number one thing, consideration is usually the money. Not in all cases, but most of the time it's driven by money. So people get big bucks for having these towers on their property. And this is the deal with this school. This is not a power grid, but it is a cell, and it's a microwave. And we, of course, I don't have a microwave. I know you don't either. So, you know, this is against our way of thinking.
I like to tell people the only thing a microwave's good for is to sterilize sponges, because it kills everything, including you.
Yeah.
Okay, so to the chorus of groaning and muffled objections, the Hempfield School Board on Tuesday officially gave final approval to Verizon Wireless to build a cell tower behind one of the Hempfield's elementary schools. It was an 8-to-1 vote. The school board granted an easement. It's just scary to think that these corporations are having the power to override caring families about the health of their children. It just blows my mind. It's hard to put these thoughts into words right now. The township and a mother of 3 said after the meeting she's frustrated for the lack of concern for the future health and safety of the students and staff of the community members who are going to be situated right underneath the tower.
Yeah.
And
the school board is getting $24,000 per year to rent that space. So that's a kind of a pull. This might be buying some books or computers for things. So this is...
to what extent, though? Or what expense?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, because they're not really thinking about the health, although I think this has been brought up at the meetings, but the money is usually the first thing. It's confusing to people because this is relatively new technology, not electricity itself, but cell towers.
Well, listen to this.
Sure. Okay.
School Board Vice President Adam Alozzi was one of the 8 yes votes, and he said the cell tower would have ubiquitous benefits. Sounds like he's parroting things for the district. Although it was a hard choice, he said, the cell tower poses no specific danger to students or staff. Since when did he become the expert?
Well, not only that, if it is no harm, why is it a hard choice?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if there's no harm, there wouldn't be a,
Right.
you know, say, let's take the money, this is good for our children, everything. I mean, so he knows already by this statement, I think, that it is a problem.
Yeah, the crowd of 50 or so residents voiced disdain and disapproval, and they used some colorful language, it said.
Yeah.
And it was really a vote of consciousness, and there was, you know, just this reminds me of the situation I went through here locally when I was fighting with the fluoride in the water fluoridation. The power of the people that have the money, that can pad the wallets. And it's amazing to watch how a previously uninformed, perhaps commission member or something may listen intently, and you can just almost see the click as to when they got to him. Mm-hmm. You know, and the difference in the way they handle it and the words they parrot. So it's very frustrating. So this kind of brings me to the subject of, you know, what's going on. There's an article here, you know, it's in a website called Why Cancer, and it's really about looking into the dangers that we may be exposing ourselves to. And this information, folks, is probably one of the most important things that you can do for your own health and the health of your family and the people you love. And we all need to take a better look at what this science is and who's producing it, because if we continue to leave the fox that are guarding the hen house, we could be in a lot of trouble. I have this article. It's from this website, wi-cancer.info, and it's really going to give you a lot of information about what's going on. So researchers with the University of Chicago in 1988 said that microwaves most commonly cause anterior and or posterior subcapsular lenticular opacities in experimental animals, and shows in epidemiological studies and case reports in human subjects. So we can see the formation of cataracts and other damaging effects to the body, but the effect that microwave radiation, Wi-Fi radiation, radio frequencies, non-native electromagnetic stressors, folks, is coming to all of our homes and neighborhoods and affecting us. We've got to get involved in protecting ourselves from these. When we get back, we'll talk a little bit more about some of these technologies that are affecting our health.
Okay, that sounds good. Mm-hmm. Number here is 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back to the show. Now, Paige and I are talking about the little insults that we get from electronic equipment. But, you know, we're just on the cutting edge, I would say, or the beginning of what's happening with electronics, because we've had them for quite a few years, and we've had the internet around for 15, 20 years, maybe something like that. And now we're getting much more electronics. Many more towers are going up, and there's a lot of research being done, mostly on animals. But this particular article that we're talking about is on the World Wide Web at wi-cancer.info, and really particularly talking about eyes and cataracts.
Yeah, the universal eye damage in the microwave age. It's amazing.
Yeah, and so of course we have our children starting off. You know, you and I have been on these cell phones and gadgets right from the beginning, but it's only been a few years for us. Our children are growing up with these things, and now we have a lot of different pictures here of what's coming. All this, you know, not only do we have the electronics around our head all the time, and maybe in our neighborhood and maybe near our schools, but we also have it attached to us almost. You've often said, don't put your iPad on your lap.
Exactly.
You know, because this is where sensitive areas are. So they're really showing in the research these days that cataracts are forming from this type of Wi-Fi.
That's right. Google, as an example, operates the most dedicated radiation peddling army in the world, according to the author. Yep. Touting a logo of 666, this corporate juggernaut cool. is building a global cell tower network in the sky, advancing self-driven vehicles that spew in your face radar while promoting digital ID, tattoos, and gut radios to be swallowed in the form of pills.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really have to watch this overreach of these corporate product producers, and they're offering us stuff that whets our appetite and our insatiable appetite for having the latest gadget. But to what extent? To what extent on our health? The author goes on to say these militants from 666ville also ensure that students across the globe are up to their eyeballs, literally, in cataract-inducing, brain-disabling radiation. So paraphernalia provided by Google's Expedition Pioneering Program, the EPP, forces a child to hold a transmitting smartphone, an iPhone, directly to his face. And these kits include a smartphone for every cardboard headset, wireless routers for accessing Expedition's field trips, and a wireless teacher tablet for narrative. So all of these electronic devices are really, truly taking over the school. So let alone do we have the cell towers in the backyard of our schools, we're also equipping them with every latest convenient toy at the expense of our children's health.
That's right. Never before in human history has such a threat against human eyesight been unleashed as today in the microwave age. 3 decades ago, the FCC approved the first commercial mobile phones used by only a few people.
I had one of those. It was about like a big old,
it was a big brick. Yeah, exactly. I remember those too. Today, the wireless antenna radiation has become inescapable for most people, including fetuses and infants.
That's right. Inescapable for the fetus and infants, and a myriad of microwave frequencies with the same deadly potential as ionizing radiation. They savage the environment and slam through everyone's eye tissues as induced currents. Healthy human eyes and enduring clarity of eyesight is a blessing of the long gone past. That's a really powerful statement.
Yeah, and as we've said, that this is only increasing now with the autonomous cars, flying machines coming later. Uber already has the flying Uber, has just passengers and no pilot. So all of this is coming, and it's all run by the Wi-Fi, all about electricity.
Let me read this real quick, Nico. It gets into a little detail, but I really want you all to visualize this. The epidemiological studies of people that live close to cell tower antennas document widespread complaints about eye and vision anomalies. So as you're hearing of more and more of your family members and neighbors complaining about vision issues, again, are we looking for the culprit in the wrong places? And it's right around us, literally surrounding us. Many radiation victims damaged by cell phones, Wi-Fi antennas, and smart meters complain of the same and the documented pathological effects on the human eyes from radio frequency microwave radiation. They include the following, Nico. They include eye inflammation, redness, pain or burning in the eyes, a feeling of pressure behind the eyes, floaters, cataracts, deteriorating vision, and including macular degeneration and even eye cancers. We're seeing an epidemic of eye disease. We really have to fortify the eyes with super nutrition, but guys, there's no nutrition, there's no pill, there's no box or anything that's going to fix the environment. As Jack Cruz tells us, we cannot get well in the environment that's making us sick.
Yeah, of course.
We've got to get involved to change our environment and get rid of all this stuff.
Yeah. And of course, our eyes are very sensitive, but you know, most of our organs are very sensitive. So we're really putting this insult on all our organs, all our eyes naturally, our brain, and you can see what's happening in society. And this is not the only insult. This is just one of the ones that may be the thing that, you know, is the straw kind of that...
that's breaking the camel's back.
Yeah.
Nico, I was thinking about it on the plane the other day. I mean, I can literally remember when, you know, you could light up a cigarette on the plane. And, you know, I mean, we just all had to kind of like, you know, breathe through it. But guys, now we have free Wi-Fi on the plane. So literally, would you stick your head in a microwave oven? No.
Some people might.
Well, I mean, but you really wouldn't. But that's what we're doing when we're sitting in our vehicles. Buildings, vehicles, and aircraft saturated with radio frequency microwave radiation are exceptionally hazardous to human eyes. As with UV sun damage, microwave eye damage may become obvious. I'm going to preface that with the UV sun damage. You know, actually, the UV from our sun may be the saving grace for our eyes. And that's why I tell everybody, right now, while we're sitting here, we should be out there gazing at that UV, getting that infrared sunlight and those infrared frequencies into our eyes for the healing of our eye. And because we're seeing our vision is impaired with no proof as to the origin of the disability. We're not the smoking gun is not being found, guys, and yet it's right there around us.
And remember what Weston Price, when he went, he not only saw our indigenous people being healthy with great teeth, they also had great eyesight.
Absolutely.
They didn't need glasses. So our world, of our natural world, is actually the thing that helps our eyes grow to be very, very great organs, something that lasts most of our life. But as we're going into society, our eyesight has deteriorated. I even remember at the age of 19, my eyes were not as good as they were when they were younger, and that was just the beginning. We had just moved to Detroit a few years back, and we were living in Canada, much more pristine than going to a big city, and all of a sudden the big city comes along, and I think that had to do with some of my health declining when I was younger, not just the food, but some of this other stuff.
Absolutely, and I'm going to tell you, I have always had perfect vision, and I'm very proud to say at 55 I don't need reading glasses. That's kind of unusual, usually in your 40s. But I will tell you that I have seen a degradation for the first time in my eyes, and I believe it's related a lot to my use of computers. Remember, guys, when you're looking at the computer, many of you guys that are trading all day or looking at the computer, you need to set an alarm on your phone, something funny that reminds you to take a step away from the computer and look at a distance. Make sure you're changing so your eye muscle can remember to look close up and look far away. We've got some comments in the chat room. I want to acknowledge those. We got to take a short break, so stay with us. We'll continue to get more information.
When we get back, I want to go over a list of important studies that were done about this. So
we're not hearing about a lot of the studies, but there's a lot of research out there, folks, and we want you to know so you can stay healthy. Be right back.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're going to continue this conversation about the effects of radiation on our health. And we have some comments in the chat room. Zitao, thanks us for this conversation, realizes it's an important one, and says that recalling back in 1991 when medical research was out a lot warning about the dangers of cell phone radio frequency dangers, and it's funny how it's been quieted. The power of the hush, right? But the truth is there, folks, and there are so many people that are trying to expose it. A couple things. Nico's got some great research that we want to hit to you, but, you know, the recent media reports that show that continued exposure to these small wireless devices that we're using has the potential to make, quote-unquote, young eyes old before their time. Not something we want. And these small screen slaves that we are, and that we've become, really is contributing to a lot of the dry eye conditions because we literally forget to blink. And there was actually a leading UK eye surgeon that warned that smartphones are causing sight problems to soar in children as young as 7, as evidenced by the epidemic of short-sightedness attributed to holding these tiny bright screens close to the eyes for long periods of time. And apart from this eye strain and focusing issues, there are other more devastating effects of microwave radiation, which has the potential to literally cook the eye tissue of those continually exposed. I really love it when people rightfully describe microwave radiation as being cooked.
Yeah, and cooked from the inside.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what Jack Cruz told us on the trip. We literally can biohack some of this 2 and 3G. We can improve the environment, but 5G is an unhackable situation. It's literally, we're going to be swimming in a microwave soup that's going to do exactly that, cook our organs.
Yeah, so of course the eye receives information by a way of light and sound and things like that, so we're a receptor. So this makes sense. Here's some crucial information. The adult eye microwave absorption is 3.3 milliwatts per kilogram. This is about 330,000 times more radiation than the full exposure that your body is supposed to receive. In a 10-year-old, this goes up to 18.33 milliwatts per kilogram. That's 1.8 million times more. And then in the eye of a 5-year-old child, this goes up to 440 milliwatts per kilogram. And that's 4 million more times the radiation than full body exposure limit.
Yeah, so in summary, Dr. Gandy's work shows that the eyes of a 10-year-old absorbs 5 times more cell phone radiation than adult eyes, while 5-year-olds absorb 12 times more. These absorption numbers calculated in 1986 do not reflect the higher radiation exposures suffered by millions of people today who utilize the newer 3 and 4G wireless, and God help us with the 5G. No one is discussing what a perpetual dose of 5G milliwatt wave radiation will do to the eyes as it slams a millimeter deep into radiation-sensitive lens tissues. Yeah. And this is the thing, folks. We are seeing more and more that this information has been kept from us. I want to draw your attention to when you go to the airport. I call it when people line up for the cattle call, right? And I never go through that puffer machine. I don't care if people laugh at me. I don't care if people say, you know, it always gets for interesting stares. You know, they do that purposeful thing where they try to delay me as if to see if I would get tired of it.
Well, the thing that works for me when I go to the airport, I say, can't lift, you know, because when you stay in that magnetron, whatever it's called, you have to stand like this with your arms up. So I tell them, you know, I have an injury, I can't lift my arm. So then they patch it down and you just go through. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I just tell them I don't do it. Yeah, I won't do it. Too. So, you know, but that's kind of cool. But what I want to say about that is I believe so much of that work that's done at the airport is for the indoctrination, for the acceptance that it's okay to run me through a microwave oven. I don't mind being microwaved.
Well, it's not just that. It's that the search itself is an insult, I think. We're in the United States, a free country. Why should we research? It would be insane if you go back to the 1800s when there was a train robbery and now we start searching all the passengers instead of going after the bad guys. It doesn't make any sense. We used to have a posse go after the bad guys. We never asked any of those people on a train to take off their shoes or do anything.
And I hear what you're saying, so you can understand how more of us, some of us that are more constitutionalists would understand, you know, when you say we live in a free country, I beg to differ.
Well, yeah.
I beg to say we did, and, you know, thank God more of the regime that wants more socialization and herding didn't get the power, so we'd really be in trouble. But, you know, that you're exactly right. there's a drive to make us all believe that this is the way we should be treated, and I totally disagree. And it is having serious health effects on us. There was in 2008 a collaborative study by scientists at the Israel Institute of Technology and the Washington University School of Medicine confirms that for humans, high-frequency microwave electromagnetic radiation from mobile phones and other devices has the potential to damage eye tissues. And I think that we have a situation where we have technology that is dangerous, but it's so profitable since we live in a corporatocracy or whatever you say it. We live in a world run by corporations, right?
Sure.
And so many of these corporations are guarding the hen house and allowing what research gets out and minimizing the research that shows damages, and it's really a mess. So, a person who damages their eye lens forfeits proper eye focus and image quality. And when we allow ourselves to continue to receive these damaging radiations, the damage is cumulative, and I think we just really need to have an idea and a look forward to what's going on. I see here that the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, the IEEE, is a professional association which serves as a technical advisor to the FCC. And it's a powerful engine behind the advancement of wireless technology. And it is directly responsible for the FCC's deadly and non-protective radio frequency and microwave exposure standards, which enable and aggrandize the military-industrial complex at the expense of human health. I want to make a comment. Everyone get a piece of paper and pencil, and I want you to write down this name, Deborah Tavares. Her website is called stopthecrime.net. Talk about let your chin hit the floor. Talk about eye-opening data. Deborah Tavares is an investigative journalist who has been exposing the dangers of the Wi-Fi and the 5G. I think you'll get a real awakening from listening to her informative podcasts and interviews. Very well done. She just recently penetrated one of the meetings of the IEEE and was able to see a lot of the information that that's going on behind the doors of these meetings, and it's purely, definitely commercially driven.
Yeah, even if you don't look behind the door, the study started as early as 1994 with the U.S. Air Force studying, and they reported that clinical studies indicate that the exposure of the RF MW radiation causes psychological damage to the eye that can result in the loss of sight.
Physiological. I just want to make I'm going to make the difference there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's messing with the structure of the eye.
So they've known this for a long time, and when the Air Force does a study like this, it's probably for their pilots. So, and they have a lot of Wi-Fi in those planes now and electronics.
Well, unfortunately, I think our military are the victims of a lot of experimentation, and this is just another one. But guys, we'll continue to stick with us. More news you can use.
Yeah. And meanwhile, remember we still have our promotion for our Primal Edge, $25 off right now.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionics, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back. The latest medical science indicates that children perpetually exposed to wireless microwaves are guaranteed to ultimately suffer eye damage and deteriorating vision at a much younger age than previous generations. Now, listen to this one little sentence here. Children wearing metal-rimmed eyeglasses in a Wi-Fi, cell phone, or cordless phone environment are undoubtedly at a higher risk for deteriorating eyesight.
That is scary because these metal rims reemit that radiation onto the eye surface, intensifying radiation exposure. That's just awful. So here's a list of additional important studies which will give a clue to the perpetual microwave exposure to fragile human eye tissue, what it means to the microwaved man, woman, and child. Yeah, so here's number one, a 1968 Polish study of 200 workers exposed to 0.6 to 10.7 gigahertz within the frequency realms of modern microwave device emissions found a statistically significant increase in lens opacities in the eyes of many exposed individuals. The study found that the severity of the damage increased with the duration of radiation exposure.
In the 1970s, a Russian study of 600 workers found that the exposure to microwave radiation correlated with an increased incidence of lens opacity, which is the cataract.
Right, this is the foggy, the foggy covering. Damage, it's oxidation is what it is, guys. Yeah. In 1998, the Canadian government's Radiation Protection Bureau published a paper citing a wide range of studies implying that radio frequencies, such as those emitted by cell phones, have potential to cause adverse synergistic effects with certain drugs. How about that, folks? The drugs and the radiation are combining to give you a double whammy.
And we see a lot of deaths lately in the music industry with Petty and with Prince, who are mixing opiates and fentanyl and all these things. Could it be that there's also a connection because musicians are definitely using lots of Wi-Fi and things like that? Could there be another insult on top of all those things that take you over the edge? We don't know. Perhaps it is. And some of these studies are saying exactly that. In 1998, the Canadian government's radiation protection... Oh, you did that one, didn't you? Yeah.
Well, in 2007, Chinese researchers published a study on protein changes in human eye lenses. And these were ones exposed to 1.8 gigahertz from mobile devices. The microwaved lenses showed abnormal changes in 4 different proteins, including the protein abnormalities were the abnormalities in the eye which was very dangerous because cataracts form after tissue proteins pathologically clump together and scatter light abnormally. You know, think of, you know, oxidation, free radical damage. You know, before my dad died, he was getting, through the hospital, hyperbaric oxygen chamber treatments to try and stop the MRSA in his leg. It was $500,000 was the bill after he was done, and it didn't stop it. And I've seen some things lately that would have, and it just makes me able to think about it. But as a result of the hyperbaric chamber, which we think of as a good thing, he did develop cataracts because, again, there was so much oxidation, and he didn't have enough antioxidants, perhaps, to fight that. I was able to help him with some homeopathics that helped to break down the cataracts after the fact. Of course, we didn't have much time after that, but it's just crazy. Here's another study, Nico. They were conducted at the University of Gießen in Germany, showed that the iris and the base of the retina are also efficiently absorb cell phone radiation. The retina is home to the macula, vital to clear vision, and damage to the retina can cause extreme vision damage, such as that involved in macular degeneration. These are the things that we're seeing epidemics of today.
Well, not only that, they're seeing serious risks from microwave exposure are eye cancers, too, which we don't hear a lot of.
You don't hear much about them. But the most common type of adult eye cancer is uveal melanoma, a cancer of the watery uveal layer. And some researchers in Germany again show that people who regularly use microwave-emitting communication devices are at a significantly higher risk of developing cancers of the eyes.
It says here that those who use RF microwave-powered just walkie-talkies are over 3 times more likely than non-users to develop. So there's all kinds of gadgets out there.
Yeah, who do you know that doesn't have one of these?
Yeah.
It's just scary, folks. Those who use mobile phones were 4 times more likely than non-users to develop. You know, that's why what you want to do to help protect yourself, folks, is switch your phone to airplane mode and just turn it on briefly. Let your messages and text messages and calls, even maybe put a message on your phone that says, hey, I'm really cutting down on my microwave radiation. My phone will be in airplane mode. But if you call me and leave me a text, I'll be sure to see that you called and return your call.
Remember, in 1980, we never had these things.
Yeah.
None of these things,
No.
and we got along pretty good without them. So the problem is always, how do you get rid of them now? You can't, it seems like.
It really is a psychological 10-pound weight around our ankles, I think.
Well, it's that thing where you don't have it on you and the panic sets in. I mean, it's I think, intrinsic in us now. I mean, before we never thought about carrying the phone even outside, even though we had a long cord. Let it ring, and we'll get to it later if there's an answer. And
right.
There was times when we never got messages.
Right.
Remember the time before messages?
Oh, I mean, I know.
The phone would ring if you're there. You can
got
answer
it. If not,
If not,
well, they have to try back.
Yeah.
So look, let's go into some of these questions that we should be asking.
Okay.
The federal data suggests that as many as 21 million Americans have suffered vision problems, and an estimated 80 million Americans, nearly 1 in 4, suffer a potentially blinding eye disease or condition. So in a nation feverishly dedicated to exposing every citizen to numerous frequencies, bathing us in this Wi-Fi soup, and this is eye-damaging Wi-Fi radiation, these questions should be asked. Number 1.
Why have there been no federally funded studies for investigation of the human eye and vision damage occurring from exposure to personal wireless devices and all these other things with, like, microwave antennas?
That's right. And number 2, why are wireless communication devices sold for use on the head and body, not required to bear full disclosure with warning labels about the well-documented potential of radio frequency microwaves to induce eye damage and disease? This is something, you know, that every phone, actually in the small print, it says this thing should never be closer than 5, you know, or a few inches from your body. And yet we have people holding cell phones up to their brains.
Why are parents not warned by the U.S. health agencies about extremely vulnerable
The extreme vulnerability of their young children.
Yeah, using these devices, and we do see them younger and younger. I see little babies in carriages already have their little phone.
Yeah, you know, parents don't, they feel like they have to be entertaining their children. Why is Wi-Fi radiation now polluting public schools and school buses everywhere? As you know, we started the show with that. Think about the school bus today. Every kid's pulling, he's out of school, so he's pulling out his iPhone, sitting in a metal microwave oven. So every one of those kids are frying each other.
And why do we have the bus children in the first place? I mean, that comes down to number one. They're hurting the sheep, I guess.
Why are U.S. medical schools not teaching medical trainees about the potential for severe and permanent eye damage from universal microwave exposure in the wireless age?
Yeah, and there's lots of questions here, and we could go on and on about this, but I think when we get back, we want to talk a little bit about how we can help ourselves in this world of Wi-Fi, maybe to be a little bit healthier than the person who's not doing some of the things that we're going to suggest. So when we come back, we'll have some of those answers for you. Stick around, folks.
Achievers rise above the rest, and when they see an opportunity, they take action. Massive action. Achievers capitalize on every resource in order to experience success at its absolute max. And on Wednesday, January 31st, 5 to 6 p.m., I'll share with subscribers of Mastering Probability how to achieve even more success with the extraordinary tools that I use to call the markets. These tools predicted the Ebola 2015 stock market bottom, the December 2017 gold bottom, and why subscribers added to their mining positions this month as well. Learn the pattern that projects the Dow's next upside target of 30,740. Folks, great moments were born from great opportunity. So don't miss this opportunity to take advantage of my 30-day money-back guarantee for Mastering Probability. All the details are on the homepage of TFNN.com. Sign up today and reserve your spot for the ultimate subscriber event.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Welcome back, guys. We're talking about microwave radiation, radio frequencies, and the damage to our bodies, and kind of specifically what's going on with our eyesight. You know, since the U.S. regulatory agencies, medical authorities, and private foundations are currently unwilling to advocate for the protection of human eyesight in regards to unbridled wireless radiation, those of us that wish to preserve the integrity of our vision, we must use some common sense to protect ourselves, and that's what we're all about right here at the New Care Self-Care.
One of the things is you refuse to buy or use wireless devices that use these microwave radiations.
Basically cell phones, smartphones, folks. Maybe we need to go back to using a simpler type of phone. After all, in reality, you know, if we really just need to get a hold of people, do we really need all that functionality? Yeah. Number 2, remove all sources of wireless microwave pollution from your home, from your cars, workplaces, and demand microwave-free zones in all areas of public accommodations, including schools and medical centers. Jack Cruz says hospitals are one of the worst places to go, and yet that's where we send our sick and elderly. And the medical professionals are suffering severe health damage because they're under those circumstances, you know, for long hours at a time.
Yeah, another thing to do is, of course, help educate others about the, you know, damage and the effects of these waves. And, you know, try to recommend to people, you know, it's funny because our society's, let's get Wi-Fi everywhere, and here we are saying, let's not use it at all. So, I mean...
well, that's what they want. They want us to be begging for this, like as if we can't live for it, and we need to... I was watching a video that was unrelated to health, and the guy was talking about how from an investment standpoint, this 5G, everyone's going to want it, and I made a comment on it. I said, please don't advocate for 5G. This is a... as Jack says, an extinction-level technology. So, you know, you can help to educate others. And few Americans know that when scientists recently exposed rats to only 1 hour of Wi-Fi, the animals suffered damage to the eyelids. And this study was actually published in 2014. So you can take antioxidants, Nico. Remember I mentioned that Wi-Fi is a free radical producer, creates chaotic nature and rogue electrons. Take your antioxidant vitamins to protect against unavoidable environmental radiation.
And there's lots of other things we can do. We talk about the food naturally. We talk about getting in the sun in the morning and in the early evening when the sun is setting. We talk about using cold therapy and using the heat lamps for therapy.
Yeah, we'll talk more about these technologies that we now know really help to fortify our mitochondrial energy, which is ultimately is the powerhouse of the energy for the cell.
But it is this generation that's really being affected. You know, we're thinking about us certainly, but I'm thinking about the young people who are just being born now, exposed to this all their life.
That's folks. It's such a cumulative effect, guys. And just remember, microwave radiation from a smartphone is a confirmed human carcinogen. It's an inconvenient piece of knowledge to have. It's really inconvenient, but I think we all have to start taking notice. The safe amount of carcinogens for human eyes is 0, none, nada. So I think we need to pay attention to these things. And I encourage you to join a very effective group that I'm part of on Facebook. It's called EMFwarriors.com. EMF Warriors on Facebook. Apply to join the group. You'll get information from some of the sharpest people that are diving into this research and warning people about these dangers, how to remediate them if it would be possible, and tips and tools and techniques that you can use.
That's right. We all want to be healthy, and this is just another insult that we have to put up with, and it's not going away. So, you know, now think about it, how you can protect yourself. Shut things off when they're not in use is a great thing. You have these strips that you can buy where you plug everything into anyway. Shut those strips down.
That's
Plus,
right.
You'll save money in the meantime.
Yep, the new care, self-care, guys. We got to take control. Their governments and corporations that run the world are not caring about us. We have to do it together. If you've got any tips for us, share them with us. We're here to help. We're here to share. Have a great weekend. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.